All right, guys, here we are on week 4 of the training. As you know, we start with week 1, we go all the way around to week 8, and we kind of start over, so it's a constant rotation. So if you came in during week 4, you come all the way back around. Also know that if you miss a class, feel free to go to my website, jerrygarner411.com, and under the More tab, all the classes will be posted there. Now, it takes about a week for us to edit them and get them up, but they will all be there. Tonight, we're going to start by going through the book a little bit, and on page 178 of the training manual, it says that most top earners in real estate focus on listings. They don't focus on buyers. And the reason is because you can do 5 or 10 or 15 listings, but you can only have 2 or 3 buyers at a time. The reason is when you schedule time to go out and show property, it gets to be very difficult after a while. But listings, you can put signs up all over the place. Now, I'm not sure you can do them correctly like that, but you can do that. So the point of the story is most top producers focus on listings. Most agents, when they first come into business, have many more buyers, including me. I had many more buyers the first few years. And then as you move on, you start getting more and more sellers. I like to work with buyers, so I don't just focus on listings. I probably do 60% listings, 40% buyers. Because I enjoy working with them. I enjoy taking a young couple and helping them get into a better financial position. Remember I said, how do you make lots and lots of money? Help lots and lots of people. I enjoy working with buyers. So consequently, I'm open to buyers. And quite often I'll get a seller in and they sell their home to buy another one. So I want to be good at helping them buy as well as helping them sell. But again, many agents you'll find will focus on sellers just because generally they can make a lot more money that way. Each seller is a little bit different. You go to a listing presentation, and you may do one thing with one and another, something else with a different person, depending on their personality, where you're at with that client. But by and large, there's certain things that you want to accomplish. You want to get in their house. You want to make nice with their dog and their kid. You want to make them comfortable. Okay, you want to evaluate their house. You want to talk about value. You want to tell them how much you charge. Oh, I'm afraid to tell them how much I charge. No, I'm not. And you shouldn't be either if you're worth it. I tell them simply this. Agents in this area charge between 4 and 6% to list your home. I truly believe that 4%, you can't do the right job. First off, if I charge only 4%, that means I can only give away 2% to encourage other agents to bring their buyers. Some agents won't bring a client for 2% when all the other houses are listed 2.5 or 3. And the other thing is that the other 2%, my broker gets out, I get a good piece of that, but I have to have enough money to truly do the right job on your house. If you hire me, I am all in. I've got to charge 5%. I think that 6% is too much because it's a seller's market. It's easier to sell as to buy. I charge 5% because that gives me enough to do my job correctly, and it gives me enough incentive to bring other agents in, right? I've never seen an agent that wouldn't show a property at 2.5%. So I don't feel I need to charge 6%. There's nothing wrong with charging 6%, but whatever you charge, be all in. Bring value to that client every single time. But again, each client you're going to deal with a little bit differently. Some clients are very easy to talk to, and you sit down and move right into it. Other clients are much more difficult. Remember, it's up to you to adapt to them, not up to them to adapt to you. If they want to talk about family and the dogs in their life, talk about that first. Get them comfortable. If they want to jump right into numbers, do that. Okay, if they talk quickly, you talk quickly. If they sit like this, you might want to mirror what they're doing, because people like to do business with people who are like them. Okay, they're going to notice, no they're not, because you're going to be pretty natural at it. Mirror them. not exactly, but mirror them. If they're talking quickly, pick up the pace. Okay. And when you're out there talking to people, never ever talk another agent down. Never talk the competition down. I got some really good stories about some other companies, but I leave those out. Rather, I talk about what I do to get their house sold. Let them come to their own conclusions about others. Okay? The book talks about taking a pre-listing package to the clients. I have to tell you, I don't do that, never have done that. Mike Ferry and company teaches that. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying it's not right for me. What they do is they take samples of paperwork and all kinds of little goodies and mail it or drop it off to the client ahead of time to prep them for the listing presentation. Then they get in and do a listing presentation quickly and get out. I rather save all the information, the CMA, the things I do to get a house sold, which we're going to talk about very shortly. All those, I save all those things till I meet with them, so I can present it to them in person. Now, when I'm going over the CMA, I do it right here on my laptop, and I show it to them. And after I show it to them, right then and there, I email it to them. So now they get it on their computer. They can review it after I leave. Right? I've given them something of value right now. And I didn't want to send it to them ahead of time because I didn't want to take the dazzle out of it. I wanted it to be exciting right when I was sitting there with them and showing it to them. If you show it to them, if you email it to them, it loses some of the response by the time you get there. So I like to have a nice and a good CMA ready, prepared when I go. It's okay to not take a client. You think, oh man, I'm not going to give up a listing. Well, I will. Here's the thing. If you got an old grumpy client that wants to list a property for too much money and is stubborn and won't follow directions, you're going to be fighting it all the way. It's going to affect your attitude. It's going to take a lot of time, and you may never sell it. And then in addition to that, if you do, it's going to take a long time, and it's going to do wonders for your sales record. I can say in the last 2 years, 84% of my sales sold in less than 2 weeks for over asking price. If I take a bunch of listings from people who don't really want to get their house sold, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to be able to use that in a listing presentation. I feel confident telling people I can get their house sold, and I can show them why I'm confident, right? So, is it okay to walk away from a listing, or maybe suggest that they talk to another agent, and maybe turn them over to somebody else that has a different personality in your office, maybe another one of us? Give us a shot at it. Maybe that's a whole lot better than putting yourself through the stress of fighting the battle week in, week out. I won't take a listing if it's way overpriced. I just won't do it. Because you know it's not going to sell. We know approximately what every house is going to sell for. Every house. How many? Every house sells for market value. We can determine it's going to sell between here and here. Everything in the neighborhood sold between here and here. It just matters if it sells here or up here. We walk in and it's got old carpet and tile counters and old lighting and so on. It's going to sell here. We walk in and it's got nice hardwood floors, quartz countertops, recessed lighting. It's going to sell here. But it's going to sell between here and here, right? Every house. Every house. So if it's going to sell between here and here, and they make you price it here, what's going to happen? Every month, month in, month out, you're going up, beating him up over price, trying to get him to lower the price, and pretty soon you get a stale listing, and you'll sell it eventually, but you won't sell it for as much as if you had priced it right going in. I'll just ask people, you want the highest offer for your property? Of course. Then price it right going in. What does that mean? It means pricing it this much below market value. And if you watch my video I just reposted on Facebook, it'll tell you that if I believe a house is worth, say, $410,000, what am I going to price it at? $399.9. Why? Because agents searching between $350 and $400 will see it. If I price it for $401 or $410, they may never see it. If they see it and like it, they can stretch their budget $10,000. But if they never see it, there's absolutely no chance of making that sale. No chance. You've got to get them in the door. On the other hand, you say, well, then why don't you price it really low and get lots of people in? Because I don't want to be deceptive either. I don't want to get 99 offers and turn down 98 of them. You know, I'm not in the market for deceiving the public. I want to come in at something reasonable, but on the low side, right? And if there's a price point of 400,000, I can be 399.9 with the expectation of getting 410. I'm going to do it. And almost every one of my sales, you'll see that's exactly what happens. One currently over in Covina listed at 549, I ended up at 558. Okay. In Temple City, we listed at 699, ended up with 715. And all of those were with less than 2 weeks. Price it right. If you want the most for the house, you get the most people to look at it. You get 100 people to look at it, or you get 10 people to look at it, which way you're going to get more money? If 100 people look at it. If we overprice it, we're not going to get 100 people to look at it. We're going to get a few, if any, right? So price it right, and pick a price point. Okay? If it's, you know, 473, does it matter if it's 475 or 469? You know, probably not. But if it's, you know, 760, and you can get it under 750, that's a price point. So you want 764, let's list it at 749.9. Every time I'll do that. But I won't list it a lot lower because I don't want to deceive people. I don't want people coming into this house thinking they can afford to buy this house just to find out and be disappointed. That's really not fair to the public. It's kind of deceptive. So it's okay to say no to the person who doesn't want to listen. You're going to save yourself a lot of grief. And when you got 4 or 5 or 6 deals going on, it gets a lot easier to do that. And I understand that. It was very difficult for me, and still difficult for me, but not as hard as it was in the beginning. When you're talking to that person, determining if you want to work with them or not, what's their motivation for selling? Do they really need to sell? Or are they only going to sell if they get some ridiculous amount of money? Well, if that's the reason, maybe we don't want to work with them. Are we going to change their mind? If they're dead set on getting $400,000, this house is only worth $350, are we wasting our time?
Yeah.
Now, I promise you, another agent will come in after you and tell them they can get that kind of money for it. I promise you they will. They can't, but they will say they can. I'm not going to deceive my people. I'd rather lose a listing than lie to them. Every time. I'm going to tell them what I truly believe I can sell a house for. Consequently, I've got a good sales record. Every once in a while I'll lose one because somebody will come in after me, tell them they can get 50,000 more, and all they can think about is that dollar amount. There's no reason why he can get 50,000 more. But they said it, he said it, and they believe it. You know, I'd rather lose one and sleep good at night. I really would. But very honestly, if you do your job right, you won't lose too many. You really won't, because you're gonna show them where you got your value from. You know, you're gonna show them the comps. Is it better than this one? Yes. Is it better than this one? Yes. And we're gonna talk about comping houses a little bit today, and then next week we'll go into completing the CMA. But you get in there and you get the listing, and then what do? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get a house sold the quickest way for the most dollars. Isn't that what everybody wants? To sell quickly for more dollars? And believe me, if you sell it quickly, you're going to get more dollars, because it becomes a stale listing, your dollars start slipping away. Right? So, I'm going to pass around these sheets so if you make sure that everybody has got one. I'd sure appreciate it. I'm charging everybody $1,000, no, $10,000 for these. I should, because I'm telling you, it's worth it. This is what works. In this market right now, this is what gets houses sold. And we're going to run through this. And when I go on a listing presentation, I go in with this and a CMA and a listing agreement. Right? The CMA is to justify the price. The 10 things I do to sell a house is to justify my commission. And I don't hide from any of those hard questions. What's their house worth? How much am I going to charge? That's what they all want to know. I don't hide from that, but I certainly tell them why I want to sell for this price, and I certainly tell them why I charge my 5%. They know exactly why. And it's hard for them to walk away from that if I've made myself very, very clear. And I'm going to tell you, this 10 things I do to sell houses has gotten me a lot of listings. Very few agents walk in with a specific plan that they're going to do to get that house sold. And if they have a plan, it's not as good as this one. And I'll actually review each of those 10 points with a client. And that's what we're going to do right now. First thing, if it doesn't matter what day they list the house on, and usually it doesn't, I list it on Thursday morning early. Because statistically speaking, houses listed on a Thursday sell for more faster than houses listed on other days of the week. Now that's just statistically. If I have to list on Monday, I will, or whatever day. I'll list whatever day I have to. But I'm going to go with statistics if it doesn't matter otherwise, right? Why not? And why is that statistic true? Probably because that's when agents start planning for the weekend, that kind of thing. So everything we talk about here is going with the assumption that I'm listing the house on Thursday morning at 7 o'clock or thereabouts. Make sense? So let's talk about it. If I'm listing it on Thursday morning at 7 o'clock, I'm already going to have all the pictures taken. Oh gee, on pictures, you go out to the house, you take about 100 pictures. That's how a great photographer gets great pictures. He takes so many of them, some of them got to be good. That's what they do. Yeah, you'll get better at it too, and you'll learn certain things. And on your first listing, Kelly will go out and give you some tips on getting great pictures, how to make the counters look bigger, the rooms look bigger, what to take pictures of, what to not take pictures of. And the only reason I go with her is because she says, move this out of the way. She takes a picture, then I move it back. She says, move that out of the way. I move it back. If I were going to multi-million-dollar homes, I would probably hire a photographer. But short of that, she takes pretty good pictures, and she can show you how to take pretty good pictures that on the lower end listings, you're going to look better than 9 out of 10 of those agents out there. On MLS, you'll see pictures that it's too dark, too narrow. There's dishes, a sink full of dishes, trash cans over, stupid stuff. Don't do that. You only have to do the basics, put yourself in the top 50% of realtors. So what I'm telling you is you can be in the top 50% right now by doing the basic things that we talk about. And then you can work on getting in the top 25%. And that's not too hard either. Beyond that, it starts getting a little rough. And if you don't have a lot of them, start taking pictures of the community, the park, other major iconic areas, right? Take pictures, put those in there towards the end. But you'll want to have about at least 15 pictures, right? And I've seen realtors that won't include the kitchen or the bathrooms. That's what they want to see. So look, you might notice here you can see every room in the house. And now that a good picture of every, the lighting is right. Every room in the house, right? Simple things, folks. We have all the pictures done prior to Wednesday, or maybe even on Wednesday. We have all the pictures done. We have a description of the house. We've talked to people. We know it has copper plumbing. We know what year it was built. We know it's got dual pane windows. We know about all the attributes of the house. We have a little notepad full of them. From that notepad, we write a description. So many agents in the description, let's go back to the description here. This is our description. So many agents will start off with putting in here, 4-bedroom, 3 bath, 1,730 square feet house. Stupid, it already says that right here. Why are you gonna say that again? Stop it. Use your head. It already says that. We don't need to say that again, do we? So, we talk about features and benefits of the house. And you can read through this or look up my listings at any point in time. But she talks about the house, and if English is your second language, get somebody, that's fine with me, but get somebody to help you, right? I see all kinds of things. Agents talk about the curb appeal. What? They say curb appeal. It's curb appeal, right? They think it's curb appeal. And I understand English is their second language, but get help. That's why I get help with writing, because writing is not my first skill. Okay? Know where your weaknesses are, know where your strengths are, and if you need somebody to help you with pictures, get somebody to help you with pictures. If you need somebody to help you with the writing, get somebody to help you with that. I do numbers, she does writing. Now she can show you enough that you'll be able to take pictures at most houses and do a reasonably good job. And we'll go out in your first listing appointment and follow up with the pictures for you, or help you to take the pictures and edit them and so on and so forth. But the idea is she probably took 4 times as many pictures to get these out of it, right? There's what, 30 pictures here, 37 pictures here. She probably took near 100 pictures of this house to get 37 good ones. So do that, but you have all this prepped. It's not posted yet, but you have all this prepped ahead of time. I'm big on doing things ahead of time, because then if you get screwed up or you need help, you get time. You wait till Thursday morning and you have to have it posted on Thursday morning, and something goes wrong, you know, you lose all the pictures off your memory card. Oh crap, what do I do now? If that happens on Tuesday, you get time to fix it. If it happens on Thursday morning, now you're late. Remember I talked about open houses? Get your car loaded on Friday night, don't stress on Saturday morning. Same thing here. Get your listing prepared ahead of time. And you will make less mistakes. You'll look smarter than the next guy, whether you are or not. That's why I look so smart, because I do all these things ahead of time, not because I am. It doesn't take somebody super smart. It takes somebody who's passionate about what they're doing and who is willing to prepare in advance. So get all this stuff done ahead of time, right? Okay, how long did that house on the market? Oh, 7 days. Gee, I didn't lie to you. We sold it for what was asking price, $729. We sold this one for a little less, $720. But we did do it in 7 days. And fill in all this little gobbledygook down here, you know.
And that one's because the seller wasn't cooperating with your pricing.
That's true. They wanted to price it higher, but it wasn't so much higher that I wouldn't take the listing, but it was higher than what I suggested, and that's the reason. But in any case, so that one came out a little bit less. And that's not bad considering they had to start a little high, and it did happen in 7 days, so I was very happy about that. Okay, we get all that done ahead of time. On Wednesday, the day before I post that listing, we walk the neighborhood, knock on the door. Hi, I'm Jerry Garner. You know the house right down the street here? It's going to go on sale. Therefore, it's going to be listed for sale tomorrow. The sign's not even up yet, so they're getting inside information. You're telling them, gee, we're going to list this house down there. It's going up for sale, and we're going to do an open house this weekend. And feel free to stop by. If you know anybody interested in moving into this neighborhood, you want to pick your neighbors, send them over. Give them a flyer and leave. Don't press them for anything. If they have questions, great, talk with them. You want the neighborhood to see you out marketing that house, because you don't want just your listing. You want to pick up another listing by the time you get done. And if you do all this stuff, that's going to happen. It's likely to happen. So it's all you're giving him is a copy of the flyer. It says open house Saturday and Sunday 1 to 4. Remember, 1 to 4. We'll get to that in a minute. Remember, open house Saturday and Sunday 1 to 4. You give them the flyer. The sign, that happens on Wednesday. You go to at least 50 houses in the neighborhood, right? You can go to more. The more you go to, the better. We do at least 50. Thursday morning early, we post a listing. Now it downloads through List Hub to all the other websites, Truly and Zillow and Redfin and all those other places, and we pay extra to make it come up on the first page, things like that. Once the sign goes up, on Thursday, I go out and I put 20 flyers in the box, and if the seller's living there, I give the seller 20 flyers. And I tell the seller, as soon as those 20 are gone, replace them and call me and tell me, and I'll bring you 20 more. When you pull up to an open house sign and you look, 9 times out of 10, it's got no flyers in the box. It's just a fact. Go out and find one right now. I bet you the first, at least half of them will not have any flyers, maybe all of them. When my house is for sale, it's always going to have flyers. It's always going to have flyers. What if that one guy drives by that's interested, there's no flyers, so well, he just passes it up. Why would you want to lose a sale for something so silly? Something we can do. Now in a couple of weeks, Kelly will show you how to make great looking flyers, and it's not that difficult. There's templates, you just plug them in with the right information. Point of the story is, the sign goes up on Thursday, the listing goes up early Thursday morning, then the sign goes up, the flyers go in the flyer box, extras go to the owner. If there's no owner there, you may want to put a few more in, and you have to check back. You don't want that thing to be on flyers. If it's too far away, maybe you ask one to make nice with the neighbors and say, gee, if this runs out, would you call me? What's that do? It connects you with another person. Most people will help you if you ask them. They probably like their neighbor and want to help their neighbor, right? Whatever it takes, don't let that flyer box get empty. Number 4, I take a short video. Just, you can do Facebook Live, just a short, cheap cell phone video, right? You know, Sherry Garner, neighborhood realtor, at my newest listing here at 123 Main Street. We're going to do open house Saturday and Sunday. Come on by. We got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, central air. Great house. Look forward to seeing you on Saturday. And post it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere. Why? It's free, right? Get your name out there. Shows people you're doing business.
You do that on Thursday, the video?
The first one. Okay, then from the pictures that she's already taken, the ones we're using, we create a Videolicious video. If you're not familiar with Videolicious, it's a free service that Realty One Group offers that takes all the still photos and turns them into a video and puts text and music behind them, right? And it looks pretty professional. Pretty easy to do. You have to have an Apple product to do it. Grant will actually do them for you, but he only works on, well, maybe he won't do it because so many of us now, he probably can't do them, but he'll show you how to do them if you need help. Kelly can answer questions if you call her and you're stuck. We'll be glad to try and talk you through that. So we do the second video, and we'll probably send it out the same place. Now that one, in addition to put it all over social media, I will email it to my database. I got 1,100 and some people in my database. I'll email that listing to everybody in my database. Cost me how much? 0. It tells my database, oh, Jerry's doing business. And maybe they know somebody looking for a house. Positive, 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 no negative, no cost, right? Post the open house, post it on Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. Okay, that's all on Thursday. We get the video out, the sign goes up, the flyers go in. Friday morning, not Thursday, that's it. Friday morning, we reverse prospect. What's reverse? Number 6, reverse prospect. I'll bet you 3 out of 4 realtors don't know what reverse prospecting is. And what it is, and I'm glad I have this listing here. See my listing right here? You come right down to the bottom of it. And I got here, keep this is important. I got here by going to my listings and bringing it up. I didn't search the address. That's important. If you search the address, you can't do this. You have to go to my listings and then open up the listing. If you do that, you'll find down here at the bottom, it will say, where is it? Oh, reverse prospect. See right here? You click on that. Oh, what is it? This is all the agents that emailed it to their client, right? So these agents emailed that listing to their client, right? And there's usually at least 100 of them there, and some of them will be marked as favorite and so on and so forth. And so what you do from here, and how much does this cost, by the way? Oh, it costs 0. Most of the stuff you do that's effective costs very little. What you do is, and you type up a little blurb about the house, something unique. If it's a great school district, if it's near a park, if it's just 2 or 3 lines, something about the house that will encourage these agents to bring their client to your open house that you're having on Saturday and Sunday from 1 to 4, right? Maybe they're on the fence about bringing their client to that open house. By sending them an email, if they're on the fence, that might push them over. It might encourage them to come to the open house, right? So all you have to do is come and click on them and paste, right click and paste your little blurb and hit send, and it will send it to that agent. And then you go right back to the next one, click on this, paste, send. Okay? Next one, paste, send. So you sit there for a half hour, 45 minutes, and how much does it cost? Nothing. And when do you do this?
Friday.
Morning, as agents are planning their weekend. You know, most agents do not know this exists. It's so simple. You go there, and just a little something about the house, just enough to give a little encouragement. It does a couple things. One, it tells you, yeah, you're really having an open house, because half the times the open house, they don't really happen. It says you're really doing an open house. Is there somebody at the door?
No, I was waiting.
Okay, no problem. In any case, so on Friday, I reverse prospect. Makes sense? You go through my listings, open up the listing, come right down here to the bottom, and you see reverse prospecting, and you click on it. And then you click on their name, it opens up a link that you can just email right to them. Paste whatever you have, and open, paste, send, open, paste, send, open, paste, send, right? And you can do 100 of them in a half hour or so. Okay, and that's something when she gets tired doing, she can make me do it, I can even do that. That happens on Friday. That's number 6. Number 7, send a video out again to remind those interested. Both of them, different time of the day. The little one from your phone and the one from Videolicious. You know, you can resend it up to the database, and you can repost it on social media. I'll generally repost my listing, the open house listing, 4 or 5 times between Thursday and Saturday. Then I'll get out there, maybe do Facebook Live, maybe take a picture of the house and check in or something, get it on Facebook again, inviting your friends out to do it. And it's great to have your friends come by and support you. The busier the open house looks, the better. Now remember earlier, I said we're advertising, we're doing the open house from 1 to 4. Well, I don't, tell you to lie to people, but you're sort of lying to people, because we're not going to do it from 1 to 4. We're going to do it from 12 to 5. Now, I want to target a small window of time, but I want to get there early so I don't miss that first guy, and I want to stay late so I don't miss that last one, right? But I want to drive most of the traffic to that window of time. I want it to look busy. Why did I walk the neighborhood? Do I really think one of those neighbors is going to buy that house? Probably not. But guess what? They'll come, they'll check it out, they'll want to be nosy neighbors, and that's fine. Well, it's pretty busy around here. If they like that house, it's going to give them a sense of urgency to get that offer written, and maybe for a little more. If they walk in and it's dead empty, even if they like the house, they don't have that sense of urgency to do it now. Right? And how much does it cost to create that sense of urgency? Oh, nothing. If you do an open house with me, you'll see that you'll have 20 to 40 people come through that open house, because I do all this stuff. Would you rather take your Saturday and talk to 20 to 40 people, or take your Saturday and talk to 5 to 7? Put it on Facebook. Put it, walk the neighborhood, pass out flyers. Oh, one other thing. On top of that sign, when you put your flyers in, I always put a rider, open house Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday when I leave, I cut it down so they don't think it's the next weekend, because this could be sold by the next weekend. This is. So I put a rider, open house Saturday and Sunday, so everybody driving by sees it. The neighbors got the flyer, right? A few people saw it on Facebook. And what I've started doing most recently, that I can't tell you how well it works, it's just done it a few times, is I'll post the listing on the open house listing on my business page on Facebook, and then I will boost the listing. Okay, Facebook, you can come over here to your business page, and your business page has more tools. Okay, and say I wanted to, let me find something here's a Videolicious video. Starts off like this. my house on Ruddick right now that's for sale. So do I do what I tell you I do?
So it's the pictures in this video.
See the text that goes along with it? You see. Spacious kitchen, lots of cupboards. And all this was still videos put into the Videolicious system to make this happen. That enables you to put music behind it and add text to it and so on. Now let's say that I want to boost that post. In other words, I want to pay Facebook to advertise my listing. It's the most effective per dollar advertising there is. I'll usually do like 30 bucks, 10 bucks a day for 3 days. Okay? But I'll target it. See where it says boost post? You click on boost post. You can only do this for your business page. And then you can who do you want it to go to? I can come down here. Oh, I wanted $20 for this one. Estimated people to see it somewhere between 1,700 and 4,500. How many days do I want it on? I spend an average of $5 a day, and then I can pick. So we can pick men, women, all. We picked 25 to over 65, so 25 and up. We picked within 25 miles of the Covina, Glendora, San Dimas area, right? And you can pick it less miles. You can put a zip code in there. You can do whatever you want to. You can actually target police officers. You can target teachers. You can target anything you want to. Okay, right here. So why is it cheap? Because you can limit your target. If you advertise it for the country, who's going to come from Nevada to see your listing? Nobody. But you target to people at Covina, San Dimas, Glendora, they might come. And the less people you're targeting, the less the cost is. So you can get in front of a lot of people. And so what I'll do is I will target the area the house is in. And then I put it on my Facebook for free, right? But I'll target the zip code the house is in. Like that one I showed you earlier, that was in Orange County. I targeted that zip code. So people down there saw my listing on the open house listing. And people that saw my Facebook saw it as well, right? 20 bucks, 30 bucks, and you'll put it in front of a lot of people, okay? So, boosting your post. I don't talk a lot about advertising. I don't really suggest you guys do a ton of advertising, but if you were to do any advertising, Facebook is probably one of the best places to do it. Okay, if I can cancel this, would be great. Right? And if you get a post that does really good, you might want to do more of the same thing. By trial and error, you figure out what gets a lot of views, and it'll tell you how many views it gets. And when you see something that just goes viral, do more of that, right? And if I could tell you exactly what was going to work well, I would. It's kind of a trial and error thing. This is a listing I've got in escrow right now. I sold this family this condo 6 years ago, and now I'm selling it, and they're buying a single-family house about half a mile away. Those are good sales. This is the one I sold in Temple City I was telling you about. We listed for $699.9, sold for like $715. Facebook. Okay, so where we were at. We send number 7, send a video out again to remind those interested. Number 8, do the open house Saturday from 12 to 5. Remember I said we advertise 1 to 4 to drive them to a small window? Well, we do it 12 to 5. And I'm telling you, you do this Facebook stuff, you walk the neighborhood, you put the topper on the sign, you do the Thursday thing, and during your open house, you put out lots of signs. Who's done an open house with me before? How many signs do we put out?
Plenty.
Minimum 15. Minimum 15. How many? I've got 22 signs in my car. I usually put them all out. Here's the thing. If you do that, you're very likely to have a very busy open house. Cars coming and going all day long. more people that you can talk to, the better day you're gonna have. Whether they wanna buy that house or not. Why do we do an open house? To pick up buyers. And if it's your listing, you'd like to sell the house too. And my goal is always to get the house sold and to pick up at least one buyer. And maybe another listing. Why a listing? Because all these neighbors are, hey, what's going on over there? Well, I've seen open houses before and they're not busy all day. What's he doing? You walk the neighborhood, you introduce yourself, you gave them a flyer, and then they see it's busier than heck.
They're gonna call
Who are
you.
they gonna call? Maybe not you this time, but if you keep doing that every single time, sometimes you're gonna pick up another listing. But while I was reselling the house, we had a great neighbor. We probably picked up maybe 4 potential buyers for other properties. Because I got them to sign in and I connected with them. I don't try and sell them anything in an open house. My goal is to connect with as many people as I can. And whether they want to buy now, a year from now, or 10 years from now, I want them to be an advocate for me. I'm going to put them in my database. Did we talk about databases? Everybody's got a database, or you don't have a real business. You have a database, and everyone in my database gets 12 newsletters, 6 greeting cards, and 2 phone calls a year. And sometimes I do more. I friend them on Facebook. I'm trying to intensify the relationship. The whole key to this is growing your database wide, lots of people, deep, closer relationship. Wide, deep. How do you get deep? Well, you get wide by doing open houses and going to networking events and adding people to your database daily. Feed your database daily and nurture your database by increasing the relationship. How do you do that? Friend them on Facebook. Interact with them on Facebook. How much does that cost? Oh, that's free. Right? You can't find them all, but you can find some of them. They get 12 newsletters a year. That's a non-threatening way to bring you to top of mind, at least for a second. 12 newsletters, 6 greeting cards, 2 phone calls. Now you've touched them 20 times in a year. The whole key is being there when they need you. They may not be receptive today, but the minute they need you, they might be very receptive. And if you're not there, they're going to go to the guy that is. So, my niche in the market is networking, feeding my database, 12 newsletters, 6 greeting cards, 2 phone calls, Facebook. Don't spend any money, do those things. And I did 21 deals last year, I'll do 25 this year, and it works. I don't make any cold calls. I'm not saying don't make cold calls, I'm saying I don't. You can make, by doing what I'm telling you, if you stick with it, you'll get to the $100,000 a year level. Now to go beyond that, you're going to have to do a little more. And my little more is, I'm very involved in the Convenience Chamber of Commerce, the San Dimas Chamber of Commerce. I'm an ambassador with them, I'm on a board of directors. I'm known by a lot of people there, right? And I've learned how to get real estate brought up. I'll be at the gym and people will say, how's the market? I'll be visiting somebody in the hospital and the nurse is in there working on the patient and I'll be saying, gee, where do you live? Really? You own a house there? That's not made up. That happened recently.
It's embarrassing.
I'll be getting surgery and nurses poking needles in me. Gee, where do you live? Gee, how'd you buy a house down there? Well, I haven't yet. Oh, really? How come? Home Depot. I'm buying tile for my house. The guy at Home Depot's helping me pick out tile. Gee, do you own a home? Well, not yet. I'd like to. Really? What you need to do is buy orientation. You get in the habit of doing that wherever you go, and it gets really easy to bring it up. And you're never salesy about it. You're just talking about real estate. Everybody likes to talk about real estate. Everybody. Okay, getting back to the 10 things we do to sell houses. We put up the 20 signs, and we have a successful open house. We have a sign-in sheet. We keep track of everybody that comes in the house. We talked about doing open houses last week. We talked about the sign in the front door that says come in, sellers requested, everybody, for security reasons, sellers requested everybody sign in. And then they come inside, another sign pointing with an arrow pointing down the sign-in sheet. I say, gee, hi, I'm Jerry Gardner, the listing agent. We got 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and if you sign in, I'll get you a flyer. I get the flyer in the other room, I come back, I stay in hold the flyer while they finish filling it out. Then I hand them the flyer, tell them a little bit more about the house, and I let them go, right? Hey, we're not gonna get into open houses anymore, we did that last week, and it'll come back around again. We'll talk about getting the house sold. So we have a busy open house. We attract people from the neighborhood. We probably get the house sold if it's your listing, and we hopefully pick up 1 or 2 buyers. But remember, we're talking about how to get the house sold. At the end of the open house, I'll do the open house Saturday because that's the prime day, and Kelly and I will do it together. And one of you who have not done an open house with me, that are in the training program, would do the open house with me. And of course you do most of the running for signs and so on. But you do the open house with me. And then after that, I would highly encourage you guys to pair up and do open houses together so you can support each other. I can't do them every week with you, I just can't. When you do them with me, so far up to this point, any leads that come in, I'll let you take them with you. And assuming my business keeps going strong, that'll continue on. If I slow down a little bit, if I'm not making my goal, I may not be able to give away all the leads. But so far, up until this point, I've been giving away all the leads to anybody that works with me. The leads that I received from the open house last week, we went through those. The ones with just phone numbers, I texted them, thanks for coming by. If you ever need information about real estate, you got a friend in the business. And the ones with emails, that weren't too interested, I just sent them an email telling them kind of the same thing. The ones that showed some interest, and there was about 4 or 5. I told them that I sent them a nice email about how they got a friend in the business and how because it's a seller's market, because there's 5 buyers for every house, we really need to have a plan together to get an offer accepted. You can write offer after offer and never get them accepted. If you do it the right way, if you have a specific plan, you have a much better chance. So we need to have a plan. I'd like to meet with you to do that buyer orientation on either Friday night or Sunday morning, which is better for you. And that's what I sent out. I told them I would call to follow up and see which is better for them. And I told them right there that I'm available anytime with the exception of Sunday morning. I don't work Sunday mornings. No, period, doesn't matter what. Okay, so depending on the situation, if I have a lot of agents that call that couldn't get their client there on Saturday or Sunday for the open house, sometimes I'll schedule Monday from 2 to 4 and Tuesday from 4 to 6 where I'm at the house and they can catch up, they can get there. I don't do that all the time. If I have a lot of calls where agents could not make it, and that happens sometimes, I'll do that. What's it do? It saves my seller from having to be there to answer the door. It gives me a chance to meet these buyers, right? And promote the house. It makes things easier. So I'll do that on Monday and Tuesday. I don't do it Wednesday or Thursday because by then we're already picking offers. Almost every time. And number 10, in this market, if we do things right, I would expect to be reviewing offers with you on Wednesday. We may accept, reject, or counter, more likely multi-counter depending on the offers. And I put some recent references on here. And I've actually sold these people houses. And I've actually asked them if I could use their name as a reference. And I put it on there. And I make sure my license number is on there as well. It's important. And I leave this with the client. So I'm held accountable to do these things. And I'm telling you, this is a very specific, very good plan to get help. And it goes across. If you explain this to the client, why would they go with anybody else? Why would they do that? And you say, gee, Jim, but I can't be that confident because I haven't sold any houses. Yeah, but I have. And I'm part of your team. So you can say with confidence, we can do this and we can do this effectively. Make sense? Okay, this is the 10 things I do to sell houses. And listen, a lot of people will take it and they'll say, I don't really need to do number 1. I don't really need to do number 3. Okay. I'm telling you that this works. Not because I just made that up, because I've tested it time and time again. If you do this, and you have the house priced reasonably well, you're going to have it sold very quickly for top dollar, right? And I think this is a pretty easy plan to sell. You do that and a CMA, which we'll work on next week, and you got an excellent chance of getting that listing if you ask for it. Some agents will go in and do all kinds of great things and never ask for the sale. You know, how do you ask for the sale? So does this make sense to you? And you shut up until they answer you. First one to talk loses. If they don't want to, they'll tell you no. Most of the times, yeah, sounds good. Or they'll say, I want to think about it. Great! What exactly do you want to think about? Maybe I can help. They don't know. You want to walk out with a listing agreement if you can most of the time. There are times going in when you know they're not quite ready yet. Okay. Do the best you can to set the stage for success going in. I'm not saying I walk out every single time a listing agreement, but I usually end up getting that listing. Most of the time. Rarely do I not get the listing when I go on a listing appointment. And as soon as you guys that are in the program get a client's interested in selling, I will go out and show you how to do this, and we'll walk away with a listing. And then I'll help you get these things done. From taking the pictures, to making the flyers, to doing the listing, all those kind of things, right? And then the second time you'll do it, and you'll have trouble, and you'll call, it will tell you, and you'll do this more, and then you call, it will tell you. And the third time you'll pretty much be able to work through it, right? Use this, guys. If you get a listing appointment, use this, and don't just use it in the appointment. Do these things. This is valuable. It works. Okay? I mean, I can only say that so many times, but so many times people take it and they kind of halfway do it, and they say, why doesn't it work? Well, I told you need to do it to make it work. You can't just pick and choose what you want to do. You know, the hot day, I don't always want to walk out of the neighborhood and do all that stuff either, but you know what? I'm committed to helping my clients as best I possibly can. I want to be successful at this. If I'm going to do these things, there's some hard things we have to do. There's some hard calls we have to make. There's some hard situations that we get into. People don't always cooperate. There's a lot of pressure at times, is there not? You know, and most of the pressure is because you really want to do right by your client, and others aren't cooperating. Isn't that right? I've seen Ernestine really want something for her client so bad that she puts pressure on herself, and you have to learn not to do that so much. But I'd rather have you do that than have you not care. And that, I'm kind of the same way.
That's right.
I put pressure on myself because I really want to help my clients. Now I'd rather err to that side than err to the other side. Before you go out to that listing appointment, you really want to check the listing, the title. You want to make sure that people have the right to sell the house. So if you don't have titleprofile.com, you need to call Bob Mello at North American Title at 626-926-4484 and have him give you a password so you can get in here. You don't have to use Bob. I do. I make no money off of Bob, but I'll tell you what, he helped me when I was doing no business. And I'm sure I'm going to turn my back on him now. Whenever I have a question or a problem, he is there every single time. So I highly recommend that you talk to him and you get this website. Okay? And he'll give you the password, and then you'll be able to log on. And there he is right there, Bob Mello. And what do I want to do? I want to get classic series. I want to get access here. So let's go right in. I want to get property reports. What address? I'll do my house. Oh, it's there. Let's see, what do I want? I want property reports. You can actually get deeds and things in here as well. I want to get a full report. Create full report. Okay, there's the property address, the APN number of the county. Come down here. Garner, Jerry and Kelly Family Trust. If your house isn't in a trust, you might want to think about that. If you pass, it goes through probate if it's not in a trust. And that'll take about 6 months and a few $1,000s for the lawyer. Okay, the mailing address, the site address, sometimes they're different. Maybe I'm renting it out. Maybe the billing address is at my home and the address of the property is someplace else. Again, the county, the APN number, the legal description where the property is. And they tell you, gee, you know, I've got 2,000 square feet. Really? Title says you got 1,630. The lot's 13,900. It's built in 1957. 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. Now, if they've added on to the house and they've gotten permits, probably it's included here, but not always. If they say they've added on a room and it's actually bigger than that, it very well could be. Because sometimes the title just doesn't get the additional square footage. That happens. If that's the case, you want to make sure you go down to the city if it's not online, and most of them are not. You go to the city, walk in, say, gee, I need permits for that room addition. They'll print you off a permit and charge you $1 for the copy or something. And then when you do your open house, yeah, the title says 1,600 square feet, but here's an additional 400 square feet that they added on that room back there, and it's permitted. Have that in your hand. Aren't you a lot more confident saying, gee, the room is permitted when you got this in your hand? And if it's not permitted, at least you know. Okay? But the point of the story is here is that this gives you a description of the house. Okay? And then what else does it tell you? It tells, this is nonsense. The assessed value, that's way back when. It doesn't really give you any valid information. You come down here, and it's got your, you know, any loans. Oh, what's this? Revolving line of credit. Well, I keep this. This is me. I keep that $50,000 in case, say I got 3 or 4 or 5 bad months in a row and my savings run out. I can always go from here. I can tell you that I got a 0 balance. I just keep it there just in case maybe a great investment comes along. I want the money. I keep it there. However, having said that, you can assume that most people have it maxed out. Most people do. So in my mind, I think, gee, so they owe 50,000 there. Then I come back down here and I say, gee, what's the last loan? Oh, this is just when they put it in the trust. I look for the last loan. Oh, gee, back in 2012, they owed $167,000, right? So they probably paid off, let's see, in 12, that was 6 years ago, so they probably owe $140,000 or so. Why do I want to know that? I want to know if they have equity in this house. What if that was $600,000 and I know the house is only worth $5? They can't sell it unless it's a short sale. So you want to know this going in. So I would look and say, gee, 160 probably is about 140,000 left. You don't know, but unless you ask the people, and eventually I will. And then let's see, they probably owe that 50,000, so 140, that's 190,000 they owe on this house. Maybe it's less, but I want to figure on that. Can they sell it? Well, gee, the house is worth 500,000. Chances are they can sell this house. So if you know that going in, and you know that maybe they owe nearly 500,000, and the house is only worth 500,000. You need to know that going in, and that way sometimes it tells you what their motivation is for their price. You know they need to get more than X dollars, and if you know that ahead of time, you can plan on dealing with that. Point of the story is lots of valuable information. It gives you all the old loans and so on. You can look back and see. Sometimes you see notice of default, and then it's caught up. Notice of default, caught up. So you can see they had financial troubles most of their life. You can learn a lot from looking at this and kind of thinking it through. You see back in 2001 I owed $186,000 on it, and I had a second for $27,000 at that point in time. Got rid of all that. Moving on down. Oh, then it tells you about all the neighboring houses that are sold. Do not use these for comps. They're terrible comps. Do not use these when you're comping a property. Just know that it's there. And that gives you a description of each of the houses that are sold. They're near it, right there. Lots of information. And then down at the end it's got a plat map right there. And that's what's on the property profile. But look at that before you go to the house. Doesn't it make sense? How much does that cost? Nothing. The more prepared you are when you go to that listing appointment, the better off you're going to be. Right? The better off you're going to be. Moving along. Oh, if you don't have it, who are you going to call? Bob Mello. Call him. If you got somebody else you're using and you get this access to this kind of, that's fine with me. But if you don't have a relationship with a title person and a lender, you need to have that. You need to have, because they can save you a lot of headaches. I mean, I can call these guys on Saturday afternoon and get information right now. I can call my lender Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, get information right now. If you don't have a relationship, you need to. Yes, sir.
What's his number again?
1-800, I don't care. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I'll tell you momentarily. Bob Mellows' his name, 626-926-4484. He's with North American Title. Real nice guy, easy to talk to, very helpful. Okay, moving right along. Make sure you've done your homework when you go to a listing appointment. Make sure you've driven by the comps, that you looked at the comps online so you're so familiar with them that when you walk in their house, you know what it's worth. You know every house is worth between here and here. And you walk in, you see, oh gee, it's got beautiful floors, it's got recessed lighting, look at those granite cabinets, look at those beautiful cherry cabinets. It's worth the top end of the comps. You know right now. Right now makes you look pretty smart, makes you more prepared to deal with people too. Be prepared. I'm going to say that over and over and over. I'll set this Boy Scout motto, be prepared. The more prepared you are, the less nervous you are, the better job you're going to do. Open house, load your car the night before, listing appointment, be prepared. Something that comes up quite often and requires a lot of practice is searching the MLS and determining property value. Some houses are pretty easy. They're a tract home and a whole bunch of houses are the same and a lot of them have sold. It's pretty easy to tell. But if it's not a tract home, it's kind of a unique home, especially higher price range, sometimes it's very difficult. So, some things we do to comp houses. Let's go back to here and here. And residential detail. Let's say we want to figure out how much a 1,500 square foot house is worth in the 91724 area of Covina. Okay, so are we going to look for active or closed? More important is closed. I may look at active just to see what the competition is. But how's market value determined? Houses in the same area that are similar, that have sold recently, will determine market value. Right? That's why I say it's worth between here and here, depending on condition. The number one thing that goes to value is location. Number two thing is square footage. Number three thing is condition and amenities. Did you have a question, Tom?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how far back do you go? 3 months, 6 months? What's?
It depends on the market and how many comps there are. I start with, it's by default it's got 180 days in here. You might notice right there. Okay, I'll start there, and if I've got too many, I'll shorten it to 90 days. Certainly can go at least 90 days. Sometimes there's none. I'll go back a year. But remember, when I go back a year, I know that prices have gone up about 6% in the last 12 months. So if it's 12 months ago, I may add about 6% to that value, right? I'd rather use a current comp, but if I have to go back, I will. All right, sometimes I'll expand the area wider. Sometimes I'll take all of Covina rather than the 91724 zip code to get more houses. Now, the more specific I can be, the better the comps are going to be, right? So let's start off with a default. We're looking at single-family residences. We're looking in the 91724 zip code. Okay, and we're looking at 1,500 square feet. So I'm going to search. I'm going to start off with searching 100 square feet below and 100 square feet above. If I get enough comps, I'll leave it at that. If I don't get enough, I might add 50 to each end, or 100 each end, depending. And on larger houses, you can add a couple hundred to each side. But you want to get about 6 good comps, all right? If you only got 2 or 3, that doesn't really tell the story about value. So I'm going to go in under living area and put in, we said subject property was 1,500 square feet, right? So let's go 1,400 to 1,600. Okay? And I'm not going to put in bedrooms or baths yet either. I'm going to leave it just like that, and I'm going to see how many I've got. Let's take a look. Wow, there's a lot of them. There's actually 21, right? And if you click on the top once, it puts them in order. Click on it again, puts them in reverse order. See See that? Click the top of each one of these and change the order. Notice they're all sold because that's all I look for, right? That's quite a few. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe I can. Let's see. Let's look here. Almost all of them are 3 bedrooms. There's a few 4 bedrooms. Now I know that mine is a 3 bedroom. So, and I've got so many here. I might want to limit it. So I go back to criteria, and now I'm going to put in 3 bedrooms, right? And that'll remove some of them, right? I might want to go and click on map. We'll talk about this more next week when we do the CMA, but I want to spend some more time on this, not just all the same week. So we do the CMA. Now look, there's a group of houses here, there's a group over here, there's a group up here. Maybe where they sit in that zip code makes a difference in price. So let's take a look. 515 way up there. And now my mouse died. Or my computer did something, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, we lost the computer, but while we're trying to get that restarted, get back to the point. The point of the story is that we want to get the most reasonable comps, reasonable comparable, something that compares to your property. And remember, location is first, square footage is second, and amenities and condition are third. So you walk into a house and it's terrible, ugly. Why is it worth $1 million? Because of where it sits. You walk into that house, it's beautiful. Why is it so cheap? Because of where it sits. It's just amazing. You know, you can buy a house in Glendora, south of the 210 freeway for $500,000. You go north of Sierra Madre, same house, $100,000 more. Why? Because of where it sits and the school district. If you're around here, you need to know that if you are on the south side of the 210, you're probably in the Charter Oak School District. And if you're north of the 210, you're probably in the Glendora School District, unless you're west of Grand Avenue. Then you might be in the Azusa School District. Point of the story, it says Glendora, it's the city of Glendora. How come it's not Glendora School District? Because there's 3 school districts. There's Charter Oak, Glendora, and Azusa that all service different parts of the city. And if you don't know that, you might be $50,000 off on value. And you may have, but look, all these houses are exactly the same. They sold for this. Yeah, but they're across the street. So if you see a discrepancy in price, you need to figure out why. And maybe we'll get a computer back here. School district is a big one. Sometimes it's location. In Covina, if you go down to Covina Hills, value jumps up 50, 80 grand, right? You go a few blocks north, it's still a decent area, but it's not as expensive as Covina Hills. So if you're in a specific area that you know a lot of these things. What if somebody calls you to Victorville and you're not real familiar? Well, you might want to do a little bit of research, and that's why we have this thing called the internet, right? Because we have the internet, we can go to a different area. We can figure out where shopping is. We can figure out the school district. We can figure out the rating of the school district. We can figure out a lot of things. What did I talk about before? Preparation. You don't have to live here to find that. If you do, it's easier. I mean, I know exactly what to look for around here. You know these things. But even if you don't know it, if you don't know it, what you can do is you can go on the internet and search the area. You walk in knowing more about the neighborhood than people who live there do, if you'll take the time to do it. I'm working on getting this back, folks. There we go. How about that? The computer just froze up entirely. Get the MLS back up here. Residential detail. What did we have here? We had closed, single family residence, 1,400 to 1,600. And I changed it to, I put a 3-bedroom in there, and we had the 91724 zip code, and then we get results. Let's say we still have too many. What can we do? Well, we could come back and tell it, gee, we want 3 bedrooms and just the one of those with 2 baths. That might take 1 or 2 out. we could come back here and we could say, let's make it 1450 to 1550, and let's see if we get less. Oh, we made it too small. So back to criteria. And, oh no, we didn't, I just did it wrong. Oh, look. We narrowed the criteria, we got fewer houses. If we need more houses, what do?
Expand.
We open up the criteria. There's a variety of ways we can open up the criteria depending on the situation. We can go back farther. This is 180 days, we can go back a year if we want to. We can go back less time to get rid of some. We can widen the area. For example, let's say if I didn't get enough, I want a wider area. Let's take out the 91724 and put in all of Covina, because there's 3 zip codes in Covina. Oh, look, there's more. How about that? Right? And then if I want to see where they're at, I can hit map. And then I can see, gee, is there a difference in value based on where they sit? That's at 540, 496, 517. I bet you come down here, they get more expensive. Oh, a little bit more. Oh, 610, yeah. Okay, and then if you hit control, you can make it smaller or bigger, right? And we want to go back to results. We can come here and go on a map. You want to maybe just use some of them. You can go like this and come and go.
You've got the square instead of drawing it.
Yeah, I can take that area. That's one way to do it. Or you can take, I'll get rid of it.
Click on the red dot.
Or I can go like this and make it any shape I want. Except for I can't. What am I doing wrong?
I don't know. Click on the red dot and delete it again, and then try starting over.
Yeah, I think that's doing it right, but it's not working. Up here, and then here. It's not working.
Go try to click on it again. No, I mean, click on that, then click on the map. Here.
It's not working.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Sometimes it'll happen, but basically with this particular shape, you click here, 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 any place you want to, and then end up at the red dot, and you're done. It's being finicky right now. Or you can do a circumference, or a watch. You can come and you can do this. I can click here, and then go out as far as I want to. So you can limit them by location as well. Back to results. How do I put them in order? Right now they're low price to high price, and quite often that's the way I present them. And I'll come in and I'll let people tell me how much their house is worth. I'll go like, let's open the first one. No, I guess we're going to open up that one. Oh, there we go. And I'll open the pictures and I'll say, gee, is your house better than this one or not as good as this one? Oh, it's better than that one. Great. And then we'll come back and I'll say, okay, how about, and then I'll go to the next one. I'm going to skip a few. Okay, now how about this one? Is your house better than this one or not as good as this one? Oh, it's better than that one. A little bit better than that one. Great. Let's go to the next one. Is your house better than this one? Well, it's not quite as good as this one. Really? So what you're telling me is that your house is worth something somewhere between, Grove Center, where'd it go? Somewhere between 540 and 518. Because it's better than this house, but it's not as good as that house, right? Oh yeah, okay, so it's worth less than 518, or less than 540, worth more than 518. Very honest, I think it's worth quite a bit more than 518. What do you think? Well, it's not as good as that 550, maybe 540. You know, I agree. Let's listen at 539.9. If they tell you that it's better than this one, but not as good as that one, they're telling you it's priced between here and here. You say, how can I get them to price it right? Go through the comps. And make sure you've done this before you get there so you're not surprised. Right? You know, and you don't have to have that many, but you need to have 6 or 8. So how do we get less of these? Go to criteria and get more specific. Maybe let's just go
90 days.
I'll quite often shorten the time because the shorter the time, the more accurate they are. Also the location and the square, all of them. So, point of this story is I want you to start thinking about searching for properties and comping them. Now, real quick, you can go back to your criteria, we can add actives in just to see what the competition is, right? Not the price of the house, but if everything's priced here, I may want to be slightly under. That'll give me some guidance in pricing. So I'm going to click active, and I'm now going to come back to results. And there's the actives right here. There's 2, 3, there's 5 of them, and they run from $499 to $574, and we can kind of see where we fall in line with those as well, and you know, for guidance in comping property. All right, guys. So what I want you to do in preparation for next week, if you have access to the MLS, and most of you do, I want you to pick 3 properties, and I want you to try and determine the value. But I'd like you to take 3 properties that have already been sold recently, and pretend like they're not sold, and comp them and see if you come out to the sold price. If you do, you probably did it right. If you don't, you probably did it wrong. Because properties sell for what? They sell for market value. All the time. All the time. So, if you can match by your research, if you come up with a number it actually sold for, your research is valid. If you come up with some other number, you need to go back and figure out, why am I coming up with a different number? Maybe it's a school district, maybe it's the size, maybe there wasn't permits on this, maybe there's solar panels with a contract on it, which they had to sell it for less. Start looking for reasons. Oh, it's on the other side of the street, it's not in the right school district. Practice comparing houses. Pick 3 houses that are sold. Oh, and by the way, make sure you can tell me about them next week. Okay. I'm nobody's boss. I'm not trying to pretend to be, but I am trying to make you successful. I want you to be successful. And if you'll do these things, you'll be more successful. Next week, we're going to take comps and we're actually going to turn it into a professional looking CMA. All right? And you can do that once you know how to do it in like 5 minutes. It's really pretty simple. And we're going to walk through the process. And when you show it to your client, the client's going to think he spent hours doing this. It looks very professional. Right? And I use Cloud CMA. There's other ways to do it. And they work well, but I like Cloud CMA, and you'll see why. We'll go through the whole process of actually creating a CMA. We'll go through setting up for it, which forms you want to have on it, because you can pick them, and you can make it look the way you want it to look. And then generally you leave it that way all the time. You don't change it. It's always, the new default is what you leave it at. So every time you go in, 9 times out of 10, you leave the same criteria, you just put different houses in there, and it looks very professional. We'll go through that. But in order to do a good CMA, you have to be able to comp houses. And whether you're working with buyers or sellers, you need to know what values are. How much you offer on a house. Just because it's listed for that, you offer that? You need to run the comps. You need to know what market value is before you write that offer. You list a house, you need to know what market value is. This is critically important in your career, whether you work with buyers, sellers, or both. Again, I choose to work with both. But we need to work on this. So, next week, pick 3 houses that are sold, probably in your area, so you're a little bit familiar with what's going on around there, so it's easier to figure out where you went wrong or right, right? And do 3 of them and work at it. And remember, what do you think I'm going to have you do the week after? Do 3 CMAs, right? And you'll have 2 weeks, because I'll be in Hawaii Thinking about you. And when I get back, you can show off your CMAs. You can email it to me, we'll put them on the screen. So do them, and if you need help, call. Okay?